So I'm Steve Hakkarainen. I'm the president of Greenhakka Gaisha, which is an LLC company, which I created to invest in this property in Akiu. I'm from Canada. I've lived in Sendai city for 20 years, coming on 21, I think. Yeah, I've lived here in Akiu for about 4 years. I had an English school in Sendai, and I was catering to neighbors and children, and I wanted the young people to use their hands more and use English at the same time. So reforming an old place and using tools was part of my idea in education for those kids. So I started looking for a place, and my own children were coming to an age where I wanted them to be outside more, and we were living in a suburb of Sendai, and it's quite suburbial. Like everyone was so close to you, and I just wanted more space for them. And I put it in my eldest daughter's head that if she lives in the country, she'd have less homework. So she rode with that, and we started looking for a place, and there were a couple others before we found this one, and then the family agreed to move here, and there was a lot of nature around here for the kids to play with, and yeah, just kind of one thing led to another, and then we stumbled into this place, and the owners were this Japanese couple who they have jobs and they have lives in another part of Miyagi, and they just didn't have any time or energy or desire to continue this place that her ancestors started. And then she must have saw something in me that told her that I was a good person to continue to take care of the place. So I first came 4.5 years ago, I think. It was a jungle, and you know, the building, I wasn't really interested in the building. It just looked like this old building. And I was just interested in the river and the mountains and the land and the sky. So I knew there was a lot of potential that has nature's, you know, God's paradise, or lack of a better word. I just knew there was so much here. You just had to uncover it. I took a long time just cutting the trees down and exposing what was already here. I think growing up in Canada, or for anyone that's grown up on the outskirts of a big city or in the countryside, I think those people just tend to really appreciate nature. So I saw that first, and then yeah, the building is nice, and I think the reason I like this kind of stuff, in a way it's connected to nature, because we have to destroy nature to build stuff. And so once you build it, you know, the earth is paid for, the windows paid for, all the wood and all the electricity. It has built this big building. It's lasted for 100 years or more. I mean, it's not really fair to just tear it all down and throw it into a big waste dump. You know, it's a kind of slap in the face to the earth for paying for it all. So for me to take care of an old place, it's another way just to say thank you to nature for having it. So I think it goes hand in hand for me. You get the old buildings, you take care of them, and then you have the land and the trees and the air that we breathe. It's a good way to say it, is that we all have a place where we all fit. And I think nature, or whatever, the earth wants us to fit in there. And I think we have to find that spot, fit in, give back, get our hands dirty, and be outside, and just realize, oh hey, this is the air I'm breathing is from that tree, and I know it, and the tree knows it. And I think once we get to that space, I think there's a lot of good things coming, I believe. Let's grab the tools from back here. This is actually the coolest well, like Suzushi Tokuro. この岩すごい. And I need a chainsaw. So this is our main tools for the big project of clearing a tunnel. I think this one here, you can just do it by hand. The other one's more complicated to change. This one's easy. So like this whole place, I never really used one of these machines before coming to Akiu, but this whole place was covered in like sasadake. It's like a smaller version of bamboo, a small bamboo. And I mean, I cut thousands, man. You couldn't see the river from here when I first got here. Yeah, this one's a little big. I'm gonna use the smaller one. It's a little older, but we'll use this one this time. So yeah, today's, I think we're just preparing the tools for the job, and it's a lot of it's mental preparation too. I mean, this is a huge project. This is an endeavor. Like, it's nothing like anything I've done here. And I've been here 4 years. I've replaced floors. I've hauled out tons of garbage. I picked thousands of cans and PET bottles off the beach. You know, I've hosted volunteers from all over the world. You know, we replaced all the shojigami, 60 of them. You know, but what I'm doing now, this project, is not anything like any of those. So I think mentally I have to be ready, because it's beyond my skill. There's my Kuanomi berries collection system. I shake the tree, see if any will fall for us. A few. I call this my West Coast Trail because it reminds me of British Columbia, the west coast of Canada. It's really green and wet. You know, if this tree wasn't here, we would see it better. All those trees have been falling down after I got here. And I think it's because my neighbor cut down the forest, because the government's replacing those sugi trees now. Mm-hmm. They're cutting them down. And so he cut a bunch down, so I think the winds got a little stronger and the earth more saturated, and they fell down. So we're gonna have to clean them all up. I mean, there's a bunch of old ones in there anyways. I want to clean it up because behind this jungle is something really neat. I talk about it like I'm weeding the garden. It's really neat. The first time I saw it, there were no trees here. Mm-hmm. I saw that hole as bright as day. Yeah. And I was like, wow, it's a cave. I'm gonna go in there. One of my ideas, because we have increasing temperatures and, you know, people want to come and cool down. Mm-hmm. The tunnel, it's quite neat. So it's usually 13 degrees all the time, winter and summer. So what I'm gonna do is I just clear it up and I make some kind of access for the public and friends and customers, so people can access it, and I would have a kind of tour like about bats, because there are a lot of bats in there. So today, this is pretty big, so where should I start? So yeah, so we're gonna clear out this thing. It's really easy. We'll just pull out a few logs and we'll just hook up a couple of ropes and drag them down. It should take, you know, a couple of months or years. Well, that's easy. Look how easy this is. We'll be done in a couple hours. I have to drag it out too. I'll have to drag it all the way to the campsite probably. Yeah. And my sandals. What's the next piece? It looks better already. Yeah, I think I'm definitely ahead of schedule, breaking the barriers that a jungle puts up. I mean, we couldn't walk here 5 years ago. You couldn't walk in here. You couldn't, even this simple garden here didn't look very nice. So I think just clearing that, it gave people a way to interact with nature, they could enjoy it. And I'm just going to continue that. And there's a lot of land here and behind the house. And I've always wanted people to come and just breathe the air and walk around and get outside, bring their children here. And yeah, I'll just continue. I'll just keep clearing some space and giving people space, green space to rest in. Look at that, it just breaks, eh? I don't even need a chainsaw. Motivation is a curious thing. It's not like you can just get up and be motivated every single day. Wow, look at that. Just wait till I get boots on, man. Then you're really gonna see some proper gloves. This is just the first day to show how much of an idiot I am. And get ready next time. Proper freaking clothes on and proper gloves. Can't even slip out of here. This is nothing if I have proper shoes on. I'm doing it in my sandals. Hang on. I don't wanna be defeated yet. I'll manhandle this one instead. It's smaller. Wow. Yeah, okay. Okay, first lesson. New shoes. Next time. New shoes. You're actually just planning on talking today. I wasn't supposed to be doing this. Holy shit. Well, something's changed. Yeah, we'll just get the wood and then make a place where people can see a route. We can make a route safe. Once that tree comes down, it's gonna look so different. You can't see anything. Right? It's all blocked. I'll just do a little bit more. So today is July 4th?
Yes, the 4th.
Wow, it's Independence Day.
Yep.
Congratulations to the Americans, especially to my friends for surviving this long and continuing to celebrate. And also, how about that fire in Lytton, BC? Like, the whole town got wiped out. They hit 49.6 degrees, I think, finally. They broke one Canadian record after another, so. We're dealing with rain here. It's July 4th. It's raining. It's rainy season officially. And we're going to continue the project. It's our second day. And yeah, so we're going to cut some of this green out. I like to take this green out here, these bushes, which we'll use the kusakariki for that. And then there's that one tree, this green tree up here. We're going to have to take that one down because we can't really see what we're doing. And that should be a good cut, an easy cut, because it's just falling down. And my chainsaw, well, you just have to see me starting it, and I'll hack through it off camera for a while. Yeah, and then we'll see what it looks like after those two things are done. So let's get cracking. We'll start it up and I'll head off into there. That was fast, eh? Start chopping. Chainsaw. Yeah, we'll get those out of here and then get the bigger ones out. And then once this is done, we start those 3 up there. And then see what else looks like. But it's these fallen ones first. And then those 3 at the top. I could probably just leave them. I don't really have to take those out. I could just leave them. You know, and just cut whatever's interfering with the mouth. Because the whole purpose is about the mouth of that tunnel. So today I'm here filming a quick one with my iPhone. Can you introduce yourself, can you?
Hi, my name is Kenyu Adachi. Nature is relaxing, so I helping ski today.
Thanks. And Kenya's from Sendai too, so he's actually Japanese. 彼は日本人ですけど、今日英語知らなかった。びっくりした。So I was telling Kenya today, came up to me that nature is a kind of art, and what we're doing, we're just cleaning up to reveal the art. で日本語でなんていうの?
Nature 自然は芸術。
And then we're making it more beautiful.
Making it beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. All right, let's start. Up close and personal. We're getting deeper to the wall and the water. You can see the water cascading down the barren rock over there. That's what we want. We want more of that. The excitement builds as we get closer to inside, closer to the source. Well, it's gotten a lot cleaner, looking excellent. Really happy about today's progress. We're both filthy. Look at my boots, my shoes, slipping and sliding. But it took us about an hour maybe, and we did a lot of work and we prepared stuff for the campers. So that's all good. Looking lovely. We're pretty happy. We're envisioning the future. All right. Thanks for your hard work today.
Yes.
どうだった?
楽しかったです。
Oh yeah, awesome, man.
Very fun.
Do you want to come again?
Yes.
もう一回来る? Oh, いいね. Perfect. Okay, so thank you very much. See you.
My name is Akane. I'm from Japan and Shiroishi City. It's in south part of Miyagi Prefecture. I met him here. It was like today is a beautiful day, like this wind and river. I watched the nature, and he was like, when I first met him, he smiled so much. So I'm working here. How long? It was from May, so 1, 2, 3, 4 months. I decided to work here because it's so beautiful place. I like nature, I like animals and quiet. Actually, I don't like people so much. So I like people, so sometimes I feel like I prefer alone or quiet place.
You ready? Holy smoke, she's going for the biggest one, folks. Come on, Akane.
Hey.
Show us your power.
Oh,
Whoa, shit. Holy cow, Belle. Okay. Holy man, she's awesome. Okay. Wow. So Akane's been her first day on the job. How is it so far, Akane? Clearing out the tunnel entrance.
Nice.
It's nice. There you go. Watch out, Belle.
Belle, get away.
You're gonna Belle, go. Okay. Well,
phone call.
we got a phone call. Hello. I'm Steve from Akiu-Canada. Can I help you? Hi, moshi moshi. It's okay. Hi. Hi. そうか、お盆。9日は
Yeah.
そっか。
休み11.
Multitasking. Hi ho. Hi ho.
So to work we go. Hey, you want to do two at once? You do two hands?
You can. You can. It just belongs to myself. Oh.
I can see you're fine. Gotta get this girl on film. Her struggle. You can bring it back here.
Okay.
Oh, here's another biggie. I'll pass it to you over there. It's pretty long. Wow.
Is that it?
Yeah. Belle's trying to help. Okay, I'm gonna throw this. Just wait a bit.
Sorry.
Oh. Looking cleaner.
I just worked the tunnel with him a little, but it was like hollowed woods first, but it's way clear than first time. So I think it's getting better, beautiful little by little. Wow.
Yeah, here comes the bigger one. This is a biggie. Wow. Wow, way to go, Akane. You're awesome. Whoa, wait. Heads up. Wow. You can do it. You want help?
Maybe.
I can feel that humidity. I can feel the humidity. One more down here. So,
なんかそっちの I think it's lighter.
this side?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got the light side.
Yeah.
It's like it might just fall like on somebody. Well, that was uneventful. And there's this one here, and that might be the last one, maybe. Just a few. Let's use gravity. Whoa. Hey, I forgot my stick. Okay. So, how do you feel right now?
So hot.
Yeah.
Sweat.
You want to take an onsen bath?
I prefer liver.
The river?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I know. She's in the river like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in there. Cool down.
Cool down. Take
Thank
your.
you.
I don't know. It's ice. Buy me.
Ice cream? Yeah.
Really?
What flavor?
Have you got the money?
If I got some money for some ice cream, I'll take it off your paycheck.
Oh, thank you. Paycheck? Okay.
So I moved here with my 2 kids. I didn't have a partner to cook with, so I had to learn how to cook and clean after 2 kids. And then I have had to manage people. I mean, my eldest daughter, she was easy in the beginning. As she got older, there was more challenging, and they're fine. I think the biggest challenge I had was all these different staff coming. I had people from Uruguay and Canada and Italy, and there was 4 of them, this one group. And they were in here for 2 weeks, and I asked them, you know, they volunteered for a free place to stay. And it was really difficult to talk to them. And I would leave them alone for a day, and I'd go do some work, and I'd come back and they showed me what they did. And I'd be like, whoa, that's, you know, not quite up to my standard kind of feeling. And I had to learn how to talk to people, because that group, I said what was on my mind. Well, they packed up their bags and they were gone the next day. So I learned pretty quick how to talk to people. So I think for me that was a big change, is learning how to talk to people and get the most out of them, because every person brings their own unique talents, like you for yourself. I mean, I couldn't ask you to pick up a chainsaw or a shovel, because your talents are here behind a camera, right? So a lot of people, it was just you know, digging into them, or just letting them come to me and say, this is what I want to do here. And a lot of people were forthcoming enough to just tell me, well, this is what I'm good at and this is what I want to do. And I said, yeah, go for it. You know, I think I had to let go a lot of stuff, you know, rather than keep that standard on everything. I think I had to just let go and be satisfied with how things are, rather than trying to change them. So we're gonna go down that path out here. Hey. Even down lower, because otherwise you might, right here, right this, right? And this one here will stop the rope too. And then this goes in here, put that inside yours. And we take that end now. Now we take this end. Put your bolt on there. Okay, then this one here, throw this one down there. Throw that down there. Okay. Something like that. And then hopefully hook onto this for now. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll try that. Okay. This one. We make this shorter, and we make the chain shorter, and we do it again. Problem is, we need a U-bolt, and we don't got one. Okay, now we wrap around this tree. So let's try. Oh, it's already unwound. Let's see if it goes. Let me grab that. You hold that. Just keep it right there. Keep it right there. You hold it. Hold that. Hold it. Yeah. Never know what might happen when you're playing games like this. So, you want to switch? Want to switch? Here, we'll switch. I'll do this one for a bit. So, you can do the other one. You got all the power. Keep going, more and more and more. Give yourself as much chain as you need in life. That's what I always tell my workers. You never know when you need more chain. Belong to the chain gang. What's moving? Wow. Scary.
Be careful.
Wow. Didn't think we could ever move a rock.
tree protecting things we can use. Let's put those on. Okay, a little tree. One more. Where are you? Okay, so we got those. Now we have to put this one. I don't know. All right. The piece of rock that you're touching, then there's a rock on the bottom. Those are the two things. Oh! Okay. There she goes. Jump on it. Yeah, we need shovels to get it out. A big tree, like we had a big lever, we could put a lever in here and roll it, tip it backwards to get that out. Tipping it forward is possible too, but it looks harder. Yeah, that can go in the bucket. Let me try to get this. I want to get this thing. Oh, look at that. Neat. Access is better now.
You got hot rock now. Oh,
Yeah,
broken hot rock.
Yeah, I like the broken heart rock.
The broken hot one.
That's a great name. I don't know if this is going to move. Maybe it's going to move.
Oh! 見た Scary! Scary!
怖い。ちょっと遠かった。
怖かったね。Oh! Ah!
That was it.
Yeah. ちょっと動いた。
Get her done.
How are you feeling?
Hot.
Hot?
Need a towel. Whew. Well, we got it off. Took a while, that one. It was one of the thicker ones.
Yeah.
And it was, man. So I had a lot of pressure on it. So it was at a weird shape, weird pressure.
Yeah.
And pinched the saw a few times, but we got her done. So most of these we can get out easier. Like
Yeah.
this one might get caught on the rock. There's lots there, but we got a few to pull out now. This one here we can take out. And that one. And I don't know what we can do about this. Or maybe pull that one some other way. That's probably stuck under a couple rocks.
そうだね。
Yeah, well those are next. 1, 2, these 2 are next.
この
Yeah. That'll be enough work.
うん。
That's enough work. Yeah.
Akiu-Canada was a place where I wanted people to connect and experience different culture. So I'm getting a lot of people coming here and they're practicing English. They're shy. A lot of people don't have a chance to meet foreigners. So a lot of families, they bring their kids here. And because in the beginning, there weren't any customers here. You know, there was Nathan. Nathan would come once a week on Thursday and no one else was here, just him. And, you know, and before him, I would get the odd neighbor would come by once a month. And I would be so excited. Wow, somebody's here, you know. And I think a big change is just the different types of people that are coming. And they're sharing and they're interested in what's happening here. They're following my blog or some video they saw somewhere on YouTube. So there's people connecting to it that I don't even know. So I think those are some of the big changes. That this place was famous maybe 50, 60 years ago, and then it disappeared. And then, you know, it's taking time, and with social network, I'm able to reach other people. And I'm getting people from Tokyo and Shikoku and all over the place. Aomori, and, you know, even other parts of the world. I've had people come from other countries come here and stay. So it's definitely, it has transformed in a sense of it's reaching people, and people are coming just to enjoy what we see here. So that's awesome. I'm really excited about that.
My name is Nathan John Batty, sometimes referred to as NJ Batty, and I was born in Mildura, Victoria in Australia, and then moved to Adelaide, Australia when I think I was about 2. What do I do in Japan? Other than attend bonfires at Akiu-Canada, up until yesterday I worked for 5 years in Ishinomaki, Japan. I'm working at childcares and hoikuens, being an English teacher, but also just working with and caring for the children and staff, because in Australia I have my childcare certificate, so I wanted to also in Japan be hands-on in childcare centres. And during that time I grew potatoes for 2 years, I grew carrots, pumpkins. Our daughter Hannah was born, who's in the car over there, I think, watching Frozen because it's raining. And it's been an amazing 5 years. We moved to Sendai about 2 years ago, and we're living in a mansion. They call it a mansion, but it's an apartment on the 11th floor in a 26-story apartment building. So I longed for nature. So I liked onsens, and I typed in one night on booking.com, Akiu, where to stay, and I came across this place called Akiu-Canada. I'm like, what does that mean? What's that? So I booked myself a room, only myself. Came here and stayed one night, met Steve, and I think that turned into at minimum once a week visit, and eventually a friendship, and countless numbers of relationships and people have been met here in Akiu-Canada, and so many experiences which, as I've said, Steve, won't fully sink in until I think there's distance away from the place, and then there'll be flashbacks. Steve, 50, how old is this place? 50 years old, 70 years old?
Over 100.
Over 100 years old. And then, as Steve probably shared previously, it was overgrown with weeds and plants, and Steve and a number of volunteers and friends and family and people from all around the world and Japan have brought this place back to life. A toji bar, a place where you rejuvenate, you relax, and reconnect with yourself and nature. And that's what happens. Happened and happens here.
My name is Gonzalo Carmonazo,
And where are you from?
Spain.
Where in Spain?
Madrid. Yeah, capital city. I met Steve through a friend of mine. She basically came here to work some days like as a part-time thing. And she brought me along one day. I kind of liked the job, like what I was doing, so I talked to Steve and we hit it off, so I keep coming back since a few months ago now.
My name's Rick Mickelson and I'm from Michigan in the United States. I met Steve about just over 2 years ago at a farmer's market. I was selling vegetables and he was a customer. And another customer who was staying at his guest house here was there as well and told me that I may be able to trade some vegetables for a night at the inn. And when I met Steve, we struck up a deal and he had me over that night. And I cooked all my veggies on a barbecue and I've known him since then. I'm a farmer in Japan. I live on a little island off the coast of Ishinomaki. From the coast, it's about a 2-hour drive to here. And I've been growing, not certified organic, but munoyaku, as they say here, chemical-free, no pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, anything like that. I've been growing those vegetables for about 6 years.
Running back and forth, doing the business, trying to shoot good video and document the process. Holy smokes, what a change. Look at that. So what are you doing today, Gonzalo?
Clearing out this.
Do you think you can finish it today?
Probably not. We should get a few logs out.
How about you, Rick? How long do you think it'll take you to get this done?
Well, this would
minutes?
take
An hour?
yeah, at least an hour. That's a fair assumption.
Have you done this kind of work before, Rick?
Oh, this is what I do all the time. Yeah.
So you're pretty fast.
But
All
they're
the
pretty
time.
heavy, and the slope is quite dangerous. So.
Yeah. What's the biggest challenge do you think here today?
We don't have enough dynamite, so we're gonna think of a different way to get it all down. Probably gonna let gravity do the work, but getting up on the side with the water actually trickling down the side of the slope is gonna be tricky, slippery, and we don't have safety harnesses or helmets or anything that we need to do what we want to do. But we'll try our best.
What was that, sorry?
That one can go by the other arm.
Want the stick?
Oh, I think he wants you to grab the other end of that, Gonzalo. How does it feel? How do you guys feel after doing that work?
Manly.
Manly.
Did you hurt yourself there, Gonzalo?
Yeah, no, the bounce back before. Got the knot right in my shoulder. It's kind of bruised. But it'll be fine. I've worked a number of jobs, like just odd jobs throughout my student years. So I've worked like fast food chains, I've worked like housekeeping in hotels and stuff like that. But it's really my first time coming into contact with an outdoorsy type job. And it's really a nice change of pace. Overall, I think that it is a very different use of like your body overall. Like I've been moving logs around, I've been chopping down trees, stuff like that. And as a city boy, it helps get a new perspective on things.
I can't go back to the island every day on the ferry, so it was something I was looking for, a place to stay. But instead of just staying at a hotel or a guest house, I wanted to find a place where I could give back and help make it better. And so that kind of became a good opportunity to come here. In addition to staying, when I work at my markets, I can also help out around the grounds and do some carpentry work and lumberjacking and things like that. I kind of think this place has the potential to attract a really mixed international crowd for the benefit of the local Japanese people as well. I think that calling this Akiu-Canada gives people the opportunity to experience another culture, another way of thinking, doing, acting, expressing their emotions that maybe they can't do as easily in regular Japanese society. So I would like personally an opportunity to interact with more people here. Corona sort of set that back, I think, but hopefully going forward, more and more people will avail themselves of the opportunity here. I recently went through a big change in my personal life, having gotten a divorce, and looking towards the future and sort of opening myself and opening myself and my heart to the possibility of meeting new people and making more friends. I lived on the island for it's going on 10 years now, and I really isolated myself for a while. And once I actually 2 years ago, I started coming to the farmers markets to sell my vegetables. And at that time, I think it was just a fortuitous timing to meet Steve, because I could stay here and then at campfires at night or working with other volunteers, I would meet all kinds of different people and sort of started friendships in that way. And so that sort of helped me, or this place has helped me sort of come out of my shell and open myself up to just more people and more experiences.
So here we are
Yeah,
on the scene of
or that
the tunnel.
Follow
We're
that way,
transforming
it's gonna
this
slide more
into
Sure.
something else. And today we have a couple of rare species
Rare species.
in Sendai.
Okay, so
And we've encouraged them to come here and give us a hand. And they're
so do we want to lift that in first?
brawny. I mean, these guys have power. They've already moved.
Oh, you mean
massive
stand it up?
trees.
Yeah. Oh.
Let's watch them in their natural habitat.
Okay. You can try.
Brawny men.
Do these species dwell in this forest?
I'm gonna push it over.
It looks like they do because they're really comfortable here, but in actual fact, they're urban dwellers. And they come to this forest setting to show off their masculinity because they never have a chance. As you can see here, these men really have it going. We got some, okay, focusing on those muscles. Look at that guy. He's really,
I'm gonna throw it. Don't touch it. Okay.
oh, he's gonna toss that. Wow, amazing. It's endless action here. Look at that. Wow.
There's definitely a feeling of masculinity.
I'll do one bigger. Yep. We might want to cut that.
The river's amazing. I've been to river multiple times before I came to Akiu-Canada. So it would be Steve and then the people and relationships that have been drawn to this place. Akane is over here near the fire. We have Narita over here. We've got Mark behind the camera, Nathan on the bench, Yuri and Hannah in the car, Rick coming soon, and so many people.
Stella and Gonzalo.
Stella and Gonzalo. I think tonight we're representing 12 different nations. And you know, the river, the location, and the energy, but also the imperfection that Steve isn't striving for a clinically sterile environment. It's an organic space which grows and which you can even input in. I've hung Buddhas in the trees. I've left toy harmonicas, and I've left random stuff around the place. And Steve's okay with that, I think. I hope. Yeah, he's okay with that.
Adds to the atmosphere.
Yeah. And our chats whilst working. So doing stuff with Steve like painting the roof or weeding or cutting stuff or putting a boat or a yacht in the back of his van. We talk and have dialogue, and Steve has inspired me to pursue my deepest dreams, which I've always had. And I've had that inner voice, that intuition. But I've been like, no, after, in the future. Steve has enabled me to have the confidence. He let me sing by the river. I sang karaoke every Friday for a while when no one was here. We shot our first documentary here by the river, Emptying the Vase, which is on YouTube, Sambike Emptying the Vase. And yeah, that's it. He's encouraged and enabled, I think, people to do become and be the best version of themselves, because he's done that.
The reason why I choose to stay here is basically what I mentioned before, the nature of the job itself. Because there are options, for example, like English teachers, stuff like that, but that's going back to the same thing that I'm used to. This is different, and that really is attractive to me. It just gives me a new perspective on things, and it's just really pleasant. Like the day, for example, today is great, and being able to work outside is just really rewarding. Steve has a lot of ideas for this place, so overall there is a lot of potential. Obviously there's still things that are in the process of being developed and put into play, but I think considering what I've seen so far in 5-10 years, this place could really be I wouldn't say a hallmark onsen, but a hallmark experience, I guess I would say, because there's campsites, there's the river, there's the onsens, there's just a lot of things packed into one same spot. So as word of mouth runs along, I think that it will become a niche thing that people will enjoy.
So the biggest change is just sort of spreading the human footprint into nature, and I hesitate to say to reclaim it, because it's nature's originally, and we're just borrowing it for the time being, but just sort of reopening up the space with weed whacking and cutting trees, and just opening spaces for people to use. That's the biggest physical change that I've seen here.
Well, again, I've only been here for a few months, so there hasn't been no like dramatic change, I think. Also, I came in at the tail end of winter into spring, so obviously I've seen the traffic of people just increase over the last few months. But overall, I think the main change is how things are being renovated. Overall, the place is just becoming more and more fixed up, I want to say. The whole structure was like, there were gaps, places that didn't quite work out. I've especially been working not in the main building, but in the area around. And we've cleared out big patches of ground so that campsites are now open and they can breathe a little more. There was like a bathroom installed in one of them. So it's just subtle changes, but I feel that it... I would have to explain this. I feel like it is coming up to the year we're in. Instead of being like an old building, it's getting up to speed.
If specifically the area of Akiu-Canada, I think it's just coming into itself. You could maybe say, there's a campground, there's the Minshiku, where people are staying for now, because the times we live in, for a week or 2 weeks for remote work. I think even for a month, sometimes a month people stay here, longer. And just the changes in the landscape, the clearing of the forest, and also I think the cleanliness also of Steve's house, I must be honest. Now that there is someone there, a female counterpart with Steve, I have noticed a change in the general cleanliness and the organisation. So credit to Akane. Personally, I always feel that changes which occurred in a particular place in time are more seen upon reflection once there's some distance and space away from it. But at the moment, I'd say, like I said before, the ability to believe in myself and to have trust in going forward and into new areas of filmmaking, to confidently finish writing a book, currently through the second, third, fourth edit of a book, which we hope to publish by next January, and going into that with full confidence and knowing that anything is possible, but it takes time. So patience is the key. I think it will continue to evolve, and it may even become somewhat recognizable, unrecognizable maybe, in some facets of the main buildings. But, you know, Steve, I think, wants to build a house here on this land where the fire is. So that will change the landscape. But I think it will continue to grow more and more as this organic hub, which draws together like-minded people who want to grow, connect beyond what they can in the cities or their workplaces or their family units.
So we're gonna go and check out the trail. It's changed a little bit, so we'll have that on camera. That's kind of neat. So we are working with mostly me and Akane, just cutting stuff. So the campers can come on their cars and they can keep going. So there's one campsite right there, and there'll be another one here. And then we're building one. This one's next that I'm making now. This is kind of neat because it's more secluded. And a lot of the city people, they want to get out their car on roads like this. Yeah, I mean, and you just have this experience that you're so far removed from civilization, but we're not. So here, this will be the parking lot. I can probably put 2 cars in here, and then we'll have a campsite will be up here. They'll pitch their tent here. I'm going to make it bigger this way. It's flat, and then I'll have a path going to the river. We found a nice beach on the river, so we'll create a path right to there. Maybe what should I try cutting? How about that big stump? I think I can get that big one. Okay, well, let's walk down there then. Pitter patter, let's get at her. It's nice in the winter, Mark, when the snow falls here, because you've got the trail. It's really pretty. Oh shit. Rope broke. This tree is growing in this root. If I cut this and everything falls down, I'll hide in the tunnel.
All right. And away you go.
Bill can sniff me out. This is pretty scary looking. Yeah, I want to cut this though. It's a little scary. There you go. Okay.
You okay?
Holy shit.
Everyone's all good down here.
Man, I'm so freaking pumped. There's my chainsaw. I remember I was cutting the last side from that side, right? I was cutting there, and then my chainsaw was gonna get stuck, so I started to pull it out. It got stuck, right? Yeah. And then right after that, I was like, I told you, I said something maybe. And then, so I was ready, like mentally, to jump, because I was already thinking something different.
It's coming down.
Yeah, it just started, it just went so fast.
Yeah.
Well, it slipped a little bit, and I'm like, uh-oh, I could feel the earth moving beneath my feet.
Yeah.
So I just jumped.
Yeah.
I was lucky though, the tunnel was so close, eh?
Yeah, well, luckily you had an opposite direction to go to.
Yeah, and even when I was cutting the first piece, I was already thinking if something happens, I'm gonna run, and I thought about it. So.
Yeah.
Wow. What a rush. Man! Yeah, that was crazy!
I finished reading this comic the other day by a Japanese Yoshihiro Tatsumi, I think. And there's this one, I don't really get into manga until 3 weeks ago, but I'm really into it now. This one frame in the manga said, he's walking in Tokyo, thousands of people. I feel so alone, surrounded by so many people. You know, why is that? It's a phenomenon which a lot of people experience in big cities.
There are other ones.
So I think some of us are naturally drawn to these places. To backtrack, I bought these colours sent from India because in India, I think it's a Holi festival. They throw colours at each other in celebration of the vibrance of life, the colour of life. I was planning to do that with children Ishinomaki, but the appropriate timing didn't occur because if children have stuff all over their face, how do you clean them? And logistically it didn't happen. So I was cleaning out some stuff and I thought if we gather the 6 different colours and grab colours and throw dreams in the air or thanks or gratitude or let go of things, that's what we did tonight by the fire. We threw colour in the air that actually ended up on our faces and a lot on Akane's face.
ここに来てからやっぱりなんだろう、変わったのは全部変わったけどライフスタイル全部変わりましたね。なんか食べてるものも違うし、前は一人で住んでたから全部なんだろう、健康に悪いものばっかり今は料理をして毎日外で働いてるからすごい健康的になったし楽しいですね。ストレスはで毎日、ずっと会社にいたから、まあ、仕事楽しかったですけどここにいると仕事だけど仕事じゃないみたいに毎日が夏休みみたいな感じ楽しすぎて仕事の感覚がちょっと忘れちゃったかもだからね、全部変わりましたね。
Básicamente, yo ahora mismo me acabo de graduar de mi maestría y estoy entrando en el mundo laboral dentro de mi campo. Y siento que ahora mismo es un momento realmente de cambio. Siento que es el terminar una etapa de mi vida y empezar una nueva. Y con eso vienen un montón de inseguridades, un montón de dificultades, un montón de oportunidades nuevas. Es muy emocionante para mí ahora mismo. Y eso es lo que el cambio significa. En el fondo es saltar a lo desconocido. Es dejar atrás algo en un intento de llegar a algo nuevo, algo mejor, algo constructivo. Es eso, es un salto de fe. Eso es lo que el cambio significa para mí.
Es gibt ein Lied von den Die Ärzte und sie singen, dass es ist nicht deine Schuld, dass die Welt ist, wie sie ist. Es wäre nur deine Schuld, wenn sie so bleibt. Was das mir bedeutet, ist, dass ich muss das verändern. Ich muss mich selbst verändern, ich muss die Welt verändern, wenn ich eine andere, bessere Welt hole.
I watched a film done on a short budget called Primer. If anyone has seen it, Primer. Time travel. And I actually wrote down a note on my Einstein pad because it's appropriate, I think, for this question. So this wasn't what Einstein said, it was actually what Carlo Rovelli said, the physicist. He's from Italy. This was more in relation to time, but then I'll switch it to change. It is the property of an object in relation to another object which enables us to first see its speed. So a cheetah compared to an elephant. You say a cheetah is fast compared to the elephant, but that's only because it's being compared to and in relation to the speed of an elephant. So change is always, we are intuitively or instinctively comparing things. Oh, you've grown up so much. Our times have changed. It's in our language, it's in the way that we relate to and see the world. But change only is existent if we compare it to another phenomenon. So for example, this forest, I'd like to use the forest at Akiu, which is in the dark right now. It's winter. So the trees after autumn bear no leaves. There are no leaves, but in summer, it's green, it's lush. So through coming, to tie it back to Akiu-Canada, through coming weekly, I've been able to witness change. And I think we can only witness change through organic natural environments or human beings and people. And the more of us that live in cities, we unfortunately don't see that change in natural ecosystems. So we become less in touch with the organic matter and life forms which we are. But we're not, as my favorite philosopher Alan Watts said, we didn't come into this earth by accident. We're not strangers to this world. Like an apple tree, apples, and grows apples, the world, humans. We come from this world. The world is humaning. So I think this is very important that we shouldn't feel strangers in this world. We shouldn't feel strangers in Akiu-Canada. We belong here and we belong everywhere on planet Earth. And that's not much else I can say on that note.
So we have a website. It's www.akiu-canada.com. Also, we have a Facebook page. It's called Akiu-Canada and Konosu Onsen in kanji. And we're on Instagram, Line. And then my company name is Greenhakka. So Green, Green, and Hakka, Greenhakka. So if you search Akiu-Canada or Greenhakka on the internet, I think you'll find a bunch of connections. And the guest house where people can stay, it's on booking.com, it's on Agoda, Expedia, Airbnb. So please welcome anyone that wants to come and enjoy the view and stay in a traditional ryokan. It's over 100 years old, this half, and that half's about 100. So I think a lot of people would be very pleased to stay here.
Thank you. And if you haven't visited Akiu-Canada, be sure to come.
Thank you. Come and enjoy Akiu-Canada. We're waiting for you. Onegaishimasu.
Nathan was a singer, playing this harmonica all day long, until one day he found his favorite song, and he played and played. God gave him the gift. He said, Nathan, you're going to give us your riff.
Akiu-Canada!
He's the place I want to stand on ya.
What?
Under my feet. Stand on Akiu-Canada.
Okay. I was picturing like
Stand on you?
Oh, Gyak-san.
Oh no, it's the earth.
Let's do it one more time. So I'll go.
I feel the earth.
I'll go do, then you can sing.
Okay.
All right?
Akiu-Canada was born one day. Under the earth, it came to play. With the trees, the breeze and the wind. Every day, it came. Sin.
Sin?
Yeah, I'm safe. Oh. Gonna ruin my fire. Fire walker. Ready? Do I do it? Run up it.
Steve's gonna jump. Go, Steve.
I gotta find a nice spot right there.
Steve's gonna jump in the fire.
Ready?
Here goes. Steve's gonna jump across the fire.
Oh my God. My eyelash burned. My eyelash is burned.